3 p.m. Sam's house, Beverly Hills. Matthew, you know when you mentioned in school on Friday that you would love to sing in your spare time? Sam asked. Yeah, what about it, Sammy? Me? Well, I've always wanted to know if you would consider singing for me, Clover and Alex. Sam asked as her face started to blush. Of course, Sam. I just need the music and for the song and I'm gonna sing, Matthew replied. That's fine, Sam said. Matthew takes the CD player and puts the CD onto the black Pat Benatar. Clover picks up the CD. Pat Benatar? Who's that? Alex and Sam asked. She's one of my favorite all-time singers, and this may be a surprise to you, Free. But like I said in high school on Friday, not only did I prefer older music bands, singers, and that were popular at least 2 decades ago, like Sugar Ray, Backstreet Boys, and etc., just to name a whole bunch, not to accept, the fact that I really like these. But despite the fact that there was so many lists, I can go on and on for hours about explaining which ones I really like, Matthew replied. But I also prefer some Canadian music singers like Avril Lavigne, Bryan Adams, Celine Dion, and more. Canadian music? All the girls asked. Yeah, because I was born in the late 1980s. 88 to be exact. I also got into liking Canadian music because I found out when Avril Lavigne, Bryan Adams, and a lot of other people were Canadians. I was astonished. I also like some rock music like Not By Choice Prototype, but I do like watching Canadian motocross national speed channels a couple years ago. Just to be completely honest, girls. Of course, Sam started singing We Belong after turning on the CD player. After about nearly 4 minutes, Sam was started to sigh in love as Matthew finished his song. That was so beautiful, Matthew. Thanks, Sam. Sam and Matt try to kiss each other, but couch flips over, having all 4 of us sitting on it, and we scream as we fell down out of the Whoop tunnels. All 4 of us landed in comfort and Whoop. Good afternoon, ladies, and Matthew too, Jerry said. Jer, can you come up with something else less painful than on the body when you whoop us? I've been landing on my stomach for the last 5 times, Alex said, and I've been hitting my head on the comfort for the last 6 times. I sure hope I don't get a concussion or have to wear a neck brace, Alex added. Oh, I seriously doubt you'll get a concussion or need to wear a neck brace, you guys. Anyways, onto the mission. Married couples, best friends, and boyfriend and girlfriend relationships are being broken up. And you want us to find out who's behind all this? Sam asked. Correct, Sam. Now put on your gadgets, laser lipsticks, chapsticks, jetpacks, and one of your familiar items, the ice cream perfume. Your mission is almost up for breakups and are taking the place of Las Vegas. Good luck, Spies. Ta-ta! Jerry then presses the button and we all went down from his office. And then they went into Whoop, where a subcomic jet was waiting for us. The girls began to scream, but I screamed, Yahoo! But of course, we love to do that. And of course, Jerry has put us into the mission. 5 p.m., Las Vegas. 4 of us split up with Clover and Alex going down left street and by the hotel. Sam and I start going down right street. Sam and I see a boy and a girl together for about 10 seconds. Then a strange powder falls on them, and they break up by a stomp of home angrily. Did you see that, Sam? Very strange. You bet I did, Matthew. Come on. We gotta hurry back and tell Clover and Alex what's really going on and get a sample. Then send it to Jerry for analysis. Wait here. I'm gonna get a sample to show Clover and Alex. Then we'll send it to Jerry for tomorrow. Okay, Matthew said. Sam then walks over to where the powder was spread and grabs a few grains and then comes back. Onto the other street. Clover and Alex were still looking for clues. Do you see anything, Alex? I certainly don't see anything. Nope. Must be either out of luck or we're on a wild goose chase, Alex added. I sure hope Sammy and Matthew have better luck than we are, Clover said. We meet up with each other, but of course Clover was surprised. Did you find anything? We certainly didn't, and we looked pretty much everywhere, Clover added. Yes, we did, girls. We know what's going on, Matthew said. Someone is spraying some kind of black powder over everyone and everyone else. This is what the powder looks like. Sam opens up and showing a few grains of the powder they found. There's someone who is doing this not too fond of people together, if you ask me. I'm getting pretty thirsty. Let's discuss this over some sodas, Alex said. Clover, Sam all looked at Alex. Good idea, Alex. Maybe we could do that and then head back to the hotel room. When they head back to the food restaurant nearby, they order some food and sodas and then go back to the room. Around 10 p.m. in the hotel room. Okay, let's start with the review. Someone is spreading some powder or causing everyone to break up. The color is black, so we gotta send it to Jerry for analysis now. Great idea, Sammy, Clover said. Sam opens her compounder, then Jerry appears on screen. Hello, ladies. Matthew, how's the mission? Sam looked up. We have a sample of some sort of powder that's spraying all over people, causing them to break up. Here it is. She places the grains and then picked up to the scanner, and then disappears as Whoop headquarters for analysis. Then she closed up the compounder. Around 2 hours later, with eyes half opened, I didn't know about you girls, but I'm too tired to think. I packed about 3 sodas and I drank them all, and I'm still tired. Let's just finish the mission in the morning. What do you think? Matthew started yawning. Maybe Matthew's right. Let's just finish this by tomorrow morning. Alex yawns as well. I need some sleep myself. Let's not argue about this and finish it in the morning. Coming, Clover? Clover yawns too. There's no sense in differing. I'll come with you guys, no question about it. We showered and got dressed and got into our sleep clothes, brushed our teeth, and got into our beds. Sam and I slept together in one bed, and Clover and Alex slept together on the bed next to us. Around 5 hours later, Sam spots me getting out of bed and heads towards the balcony outside. Hard time trying to sleep, Matthew? For sure, Sam. The mission has got me disturbed. I don't know if we can make it through this one thing in peace, if you know what I mean. I know what you mean, and don't worry. We'll get through this with no problem. Trust me, we're spies, and we've been handling these situations with no problems. I sure hope you're right, Sam. I clutched her gently to embrace her. Sam clutches herself as well. I love you so much, Matthew. Me too, Sammy. Just remember, I don't want to see you gone, hurt, or anything, because my heart would be sinking like a ship if it just sprung a leak, or a baseball shattered through a window. Sam then smiles. The only thing that hurts my feelings is my personality feelings. Under the full moon, Sam's lips met with mine as we went into deep love. Sam in her pink nightgown, which was the bottom part being dragged along the ground, holds my hand and walks closer back as we sleep. I haven't seen what she wears to sleep. I just made it up because, well, it's something interesting I like to say. Did I mention you look like a princess in that nightgown, Sammy? Really? Why, thank you, Matthew. You're so sweet. And you really know how to care for girls like me. Sam starts to blush once again. You're right, Sammy. I thank you for saying that about me. Then we both get back to sleep. But when outside the hotel around 9 in the morning, now watch what happens when the powder is spread, Sam says. 2 guys are seen talking to each other about whatever when the powder is spread, and they walked away in different directions. You see what we mean? Yeah, very freaky, Alex added. This is so evil, Clover scoffed. Sam's compounder rings, and they all gathered around her. Yeah, Jerry? Sam asked. Hello, Spies. Whoop had just found out about the powder you sent me last night. It appears to be some sort of brown sugar mixed with some elements that makes it turn black, causing it to eliminate love and friendship from that person's life, and the culprit can be found in the abandoned factory, at least 3 blocks away from the hotel. You 4 will need to find him fast and be careful and good luck. Sam closes her compounder after thanking Jerry. Well, let's go, guys. With the girls all in their spy jumpsuits, and me in one of my motocross shirts with Kyle Lewis's last name and a number 23 under the name, we made our way towards the abandoned factory. 11:22 a.m., the abandoned factory. This must be the factory Jerry was talking about, Sam said. Ew, this place looks like it could use a good clean. It smells like someone took a dump in here in the last 3 years, Clover said. Hopefully it's less than that, Clover, Alex added. I hope so too. We started running for the factory and we came up 2 separate paths. Let's split up again. This time let's switch directions and we split up. Good idea, Sam, Alex said. Sam and Matt spot a culprit. Why aren't you 2 broken up after the powder been spread to the entire city? Sarcastically. Easy, bub. But maybe that's just because love conquers all issues. And we're gonna kick your butt all the way to jail. What the hell are you doing this? This is too cruel, Sam said. I shall never tell ya. See ya. Sam and I chase him, but we start to lose the villain somehow. Geez, this guy is quicker than me. I sure hope the wind doesn't have the same issues as the others. Be careful, Matthew. You might jinx it. Maybe you're right, Sammy. Although I don't really believe in jinxes. I looked up to see powder fall under Sam's red hair. Sammy, look above you, look out. Oh, that's when Sam looked up. But of course, with that, Sam gasps. I run and push Sam out of the way, but the ice cream perfume slips out of her pocket, causing it to spray. Somehow freezes the powder. Phew! Don't even tell me how close call that was! Sam gets back up on her feet and walks over to me and sits on her knees and puts a comforting arm around her shoulder. Thanks, Matthew. That was so brave of you. Oh, it was nothing, Sam. I start to blush. Sam looked at me, confused. Nothing? Would you consider this nothing? She then kisses Matt's cheek. Well, almost nothing. And thanks, Sam. That was very sweet of you to kiss me. What did you think I'd get together after this mission to see if you have anything in common? Well, that's a great idea, Matthew. Maybe we could be in my hot tub and maybe have a sleepover. Promise? Promise. We both extend our fingers to keep that promise, and then we looked up at the powder. What the? The ice cream perfume froze the powder? Yeah, you're right, Matthew. I'm surprised that they actually froze the powder. Come on, we gotta find Clover and Alex and tell them about it. Hopefully they're not broken up. I hope not too. Let's keep going. Sam and I run side by side to find Clover and Alex. How far do you think they are, Sam? Hopefully not too far, and we'll deal with the intruder later. On the way, I tripped and fell to the ground. Matthew, are you okay? Sam asked. I think so. I think I knocked the wind and speed out of myself. But I tried to run, but I was a lot slower than Sam. Here, let me help you, Sam said. She takes her hand and continues running. Maybe we gotta get your speed back. I hope so too. Sam finds Clover and Alex about 2 hours of running. Girls, I'm glad we found you. Sammy, why are you holding Matthew's hand? This isn't the time to be making love, isn't it? Or dating? Clover asked. We're not, Clover. He tripped and fell, knocking the whole wind and speed of himself. He's like me and he loves me and I like him too. I feel like we should help him out. Now let's find the culprit, Sam said. So where do we find him? Alex asked. Matthew and I saw him, but he didn't really tell us why he was doing this. So where do we start looking? Clover asked again. We just don't need to look anywhere. Sam, Clover, and Alex, we all looked. Why not, Alex? Simple. He's right above my shoulder. Well, why didn't you tell us earlier, Alex? Alex, reality check, Matthew just appeared right over my shoulder about a minute ago. Oh, okay, sarcastically, I knew that. Guys, watch out. The culprit tries to spread the powder over us, but we dive in different directions. Girls, use the ice cream perfume to freeze the powder, then we'll go after the intruder. Alex and Clover used the perfume to spray, and in every attempt the power is spread until it ran out. The culprit then flies away in his jetpack, but they both finished up and activate our jetpacks to chase after the guy who is about 7 seconds ahead of us. I spotted him! Guys, turn left! Sam instructed. She gets out the ice cream perfume with a leap and spray the culprit's legs and feet. All right! Clover looked and smirked. This will teach us not to mess with people's love for each other. Now tell us why you're doing this. Okay. When I was a teen, I liked other girls, but they shut me down and they threw me in the garbage can. Okay, whatever, Alex scoffed. The agents from Whoop and Jerry arrived. Another job well done, Spies. We'll sure get this guy locked away for eternity. Oh, thanks, Jerry, everyone said. At Sam's pool around 6:12 p.m., Sam and I were sitting next to each other. Matthew, other than that what you said about yourself on school on Friday, what else do you want to tell me about yourself? Sam asked. Well, I don't care about wrestling, and I'm not really ready for a part-time job. As devoted something for a school, love school, and I don't believe in aliens or curses. So do I for anything you said, but you know when you mentioned that, I looked like a princess in my nightgown. Do you really mean it? Sam asked. Of course, Sam. I'd never say no to anyone for love for you. In my eyes, you always looked at me as a princess no matter what you wear, because I judge a girl by 3 unusual things. Outfit, attitude, and hairstyle. Princess Sam, I can see it now. Sam started blushing. Do you think I look like a princess now? Of course, Sammy. That's what makes you say that you look like a princess with your long hair and smile. I run my hand gently through her smooth, red-orange hair. My hair is a smile. Sam chuckled, Gold replied with a laugh, and she smiled. Gee, I never thought I would look like a princess that way. Now you do. The real reason why your hair is so long and beautiful is because you smile. The both of us make me want to smile too. Sam and I hug and kiss each other on the lips, and then came out to our bathroom and take our showers. Then we headed to our room. Hey, Sammy, thanks again for inviting me to your house to get to know you and more in the sleepover. What about Clover and Alex? They're gonna come over tomorrow. Oh, okay. By the way, Sam, since you kissed my cheek during the mission, here's my thanks for kissing me. I kiss her on the lips and forehead and nose. Gee, Matthew, thanks. That was sweet of you. You're welcome. And remember, always keep an eye on your love inside your heart. I do hope you do the same for me. I'm speechless, Matthew. I'll be sure to do the same thing for you. It's getting late. What do you say we hit the sack? I guess you're right, Sam, I replied. Sam turns off the lights in her bedroom, then climbs into her bed. Sweet dreams, Matthew, Sam said. You too, Princess Sam. She giggles and blushes as we slowly kissed each other one last time, and then we both went to sleep. And that, my little pretties, was my true feelings for Sam. A Totally Spies fanfiction written by Mat49324. Matt, thank you so much for writing me this story. Thank you for letting me giving me permission to narrate this. This was highly appreciated. I really do thank you for that. So, my final thoughts on this story. Well, a really good fan fiction, to be completely honest. And yes, was the same guy who I read The Futures of Sam and Me, and I also narrated How I Met the Spy. So that was another story I did narrate as well. So, with that being said, I'm going to be completely honest with it right now that, well, to be honest, I actually found this story to be rather enjoyable in many ways I can count. I could definitely say that this story was actually pretty good. Now, I could definitely say this right now, and I'm going to say this, is that this story, I know this is an old story because this story came out in 2004. Oh my goodness. We're going back nostalgia time. I was a young kid at that time. Now, I know the author did say that he did make, better, stories, and he's got better ones that are out, his newest ones. And I will be getting into the newest ones in the future. I don't know when I will do it, but I am going to consider, narrating more of his fan fictions if I get the opportunity. I know most of them are totally spy stories, and yeah, this story was actually pretty good. I could definitely say that now, Matt. The one thing I could definitely say that I really like about this was that the grammar of the story was pretty good, along with the sentence structuring, the storyline, and basically how the flow of it went out. It was just really awesome, and that's definitely something I'm gonna say. So, I could definitely say right now that this. I know you were probably about 16 or something when you wrote this. I'm not too sure, but comment down below and let me know what you think. But I'm gonna say this right now that there were one or two things that wasn't really, well, I guess it kind of the thing that kind of wasn't crazy on is what I'm gonna try to say. So, I do like the fact that this is cute, with this character Matt and going on adventures with the spies and all that. Pretty simple thing, just like any Totally Spies episode, and it's actually pretty cute. Like with Matt and Sam, expressing their feelings towards each other, which I find that very, very adorable and cute. And I definitely have to say, I definitely ship these two. But if you ship Sam with somebody else, guys, that's totally your opinion, and that's totally fine. I'm not going against anybody's opinions here. I'm fine with everyone's opinions. So, with that said, I actually found this story to be a great concept, great storyline. It was cute, though, by the way. I could definitely say that. There's definitely time and effort into it. So, the one thing I could definitely say, if I have to say one thing I wasn't really crazy on, I know this is an old story, but I'm not gonna, dodge any bullets or anything. And this would have to be the punctuation marks. Like, there were, as you could probably tell, throughout the story, there were a couple of run-on sentences. Like, there was a couple of run-on sentences that were in the story, so that's kind of why it was hard for me to, basically, basically, say a sentence. There were a couple of run-on sentences within the story, so as you could probably already tell throughout the story, there were some parts of the story that was a little bit, difficult for me to read. Like, there was a few parts of the story that was a little hard to read. like the fact that there were, there are places that should have been periods. That's something I'm going to say now, is that there's places that should have been periods, places that should have been commas, or they weren't there, or they were just all over the place. So that's what made the story a bit hard to read at times. I'm not trying to sound rude. I'm just saying that just so you get the idea where I'm coming from. I'm sure most of you guys have the same idea. If you get the idea what I mean, then yeah, most of you guys probably do, because I do these reviews to help people. Another thing I can definitely say that I wasn't really a big fan of was the villain character. Now, the villain character, which was trying to figure out his name. I know he's not really a villain from Totally Spies, I'm pretty sure. But you, Matt, if you want to explain about it, then who the villain is and that, if it's like an OC or something, which is Culprit. Now, there's not really much known about this villain Culprit. I don't even know if he's an OC or something, because there's not really much known about him. I know they understand why he wants, girls to, and guy and girls to break up. Mainly the reason is because he tried to ask girls out when he was younger, but they rejected him because he was weird or something like that. Now, I could definitely understand. That's very understandable on why he doesn't like seeing, people together. But the thing is, though, we don't really get a whole lot, we don't get a backstory about the character of who is he from and stuff like that. So, it just left me confused. It just left me confused. Like, I'm not trying to sound rude. It just left me confused. Like, there were parts of the story that could have had, an explanation about the character. Like, maybe a backstory behind the villain in this. Maybe that way it would be, better. But in this case, it just is just weird. So I can definitely say, this needs a little bit, just a little bit of a backstory with the character. That way it would have been a lot more better. But not only that, the story could have, had a potential with it. And, that's just something I'm just gonna point out. Like, if you're gonna have a character, an OC, that is not in the show, you gotta make sure you have a good backstory or a good explanation of who the character is. Because in that way, a lot of people will get the idea of who the character really is and what they're like and stuff, personality-wise or something like that. Or even their backstory of why they became a villain and stuff like that. At least that way it would be a lot more understandable than sitting there and having no explanation at all. Like, if you want to explain in the comment section about who this Culprit character is, like if he's an OC, would you be able to explain to me, Matt? Because if you could, that would be a lot more helpful with the story. And not only that, that'd be helpful to me and everyone else, because everyone was probably confused with the story. Not saying everyone was, but I'm just saying that just so you get the idea of, if you're gonna include a character that is an OC or something, at least have a good backstory behind the character. Because in that way, everyone would understand who the character is and stuff. And at least, that way it'd be a better explanation. So, I'm gonna say this right now, that this review is kind of long as it is, but I'm just gonna say this right now, that this story was good. I did say a few things that needed to be improved, but other than that, I'm gonna say right now, that this story was obviously a pretty good story. It does need a little bit of improvement, but this story actually did pretty good in many ways. So, with that being said, I'm gonna say this right now, and like I always continue to say, this is simply my own personal opinion, and if you disagree with me, that's fine too. We're all entitled to our own opinions in regards to these, creepypastas, and this is simply my own personal thoughts. My final rating of this story would have to be I'm gonna give this one a 8 out of 10. I'm giving it an 8 because the grammar was good, along with the sentence structuring and the grammar and punctuation marks. But although there were a few punctuation marks that had a couple errors, and a few punctuation errors, a few grammar errors, but other than that, the story just needs a little bit of improvement. I'm just saying that now. It just needs improvement. a little bit. I know this is an old story, but I'm just saying this just for the author to understand. So, I could definitely understand, why I actually, like this story, but there were a few problems with it. But other than that, the story was actually very well done and made. And I'm definitely going to say, you did a pretty good job with the story, Matt. So, anyways, what did you guys think about this creepypasta? Did you all enjoy it? Did you not? Also, what we have done in person to help make this story a lot better? Leave me know what your thoughts are down in the comments section down below. I'm the Queen of Lions. Thank you so much for watching today's episode. And if you happen to be brand new here on this channel, be sure to like, comment, subscribe. And because I make brand new videos every single day, don't forget to ring the notification bell to when I upload, so then you guys will not miss an upload. And as always, please roll the outro because I'm out of here. And I'll be catching you all in the next video. So thank you so much for coming. And I will be seeing you all next time. Peace out.